Hey everyone, SwiftyBoy Marbs here, and welcome to my Cardfight Vanguard Blaster Blade / Gancelot deck profile for post Aerial Steed Liberation. Now, before we begin, I want you guys to hit that subscribe button, turn on the post notifications bell if you haven't already, and without further ado, let's get on with the video. Now, starting off with my trigger lineup, I am running the basic trigger lineup of 4 heals, and then I decided to stick with the 4 draw PGs. Now, my reason for doing this is because I find that running draw PGs, such as E-Souls, leaves my deck with some open room to run any other grade 1s that I may want to run. And then to end off my trigger lineup, I'm running 8 crits. I had a little bit of trouble deciding whether I want to run Glime or run Barkghoul as my starting Vanguard, so sometimes what I like to do is actually alternate between them, but for my starting Vanguard, I mainly see myself using Glime most of the time. Now, going into my grade 1s, I am running 4 copies of Knight of the Harp Tristan. Let me straighten that out a bit. And Tristan is a good card for me to use if I need to get Blaster Blade onto the field to get Gancelot's abilities off, or if I need to get Blaster Blade into my hand if I don't have Blaster Blade in the soul for Exculpate's ability. And then I also run 4 copies of Knight of Friendship K, and I run K because along with Bedivere, they can actually help to kind of thin out my deck a little. And also, because of the fact that they can also help me get the early rush with Blaster Blade. And then I run 3 copies of Pluck Enchanter. And I run Pluck Enchanter because it can help with managing my Soul Blast and my Counter Blast so that I don't run out of Soul Blast for, say, Blaster Blade skill or any other unit skill that requires Soul Blast. And also because it helped me manage my Counter Blast, making it so that I won't have to take too much damage at the beginning of the game. And then, to end off my grade 1 lineup, I am also running 2 copies of Knight of Rose Morgana, and I run her because she can really benefit from the fact that I'll have 2 Vanguards on the field, making it so that she gets plus 15k, and I only run her at 2 because I don't really want to see her in my hand too early. I want to use her more as a late game card. So that's it for my grade 1 lineup. Now moving on to the grade 2s, I am running 4 copies of my Avatar, Blaster Blade. And Blaster Blade really works because of the fact that snipe one of my opponent's rearguard units that's in the front row, making it so that they potentially can't intercept. But also the fact that he can actually put some early game pressure on the opponent due to the fact that he'll get an additional critical if I have 4 or more rearguard units on the field, which would then result in either my opponent taking 2, maybe 3 damage if I reveal a critical trigger along with that, or it results in my opponent potentially guarding for no pass so that they can actually avoid taking a lot of damage early game, which would then result in the opponent potentially running out of guards in their hand late game. And then I'm also running 4 copies of Bedivere because, well, since I'm running 4 copies of K, I have to run 4 copies of Bedivere. And once again, it's because K and Bedivere can really help to filter out my deck and also help me get the early rush with Blaster Blade. Then I'm also running 2 copies of Knight of Truth Gordon, a better booster in my opinion for Blaster Blade than Wingull, due to the fact that, well, although he's a grade 2, he can actually boost Blaster Blade, making him a 10k, well, let's make that 15k booster for Blaster Blade because of the fact that Blaster Blade gets plus 5k, and it's really cool that the abilities of Gordon can actually stack. So if you have 2 Gordons on the field, Blaster Blades will actually get plus 10k, making them a 30k attacker. Well, let's make that a 40k attacker plus the 10k that Blaster Blade gets from Gancelot. And then to end off my grade 2s, I am running 2 copies of Conjurer of Mithril, Conjurer of Mithril is a good card for me to also get Blaster Blade onto the field, and also to get Gordon onto the field. So, that's it for my grade 2 lineup. And now moving on to my grade 3s, I am running 3 copies of Solitary Knight's Gancelot, the main grade 3 of this deck. Now, you might be wondering, why am I running only 3 copies of Gancelot instead of just running 4? And my reason for doing that is because, well, although Gancelot is a good card due to the fact that he makes Blaster Blade a Vanguard, therefore making it so that Vanguard exclusive abilities, such as the additional crit that Blaster Blade gets when I have 4 or more rearguard units, goes off. And due to the fact that I can also perform a drive check with Blaster Blade, something I was just really thinking about was the fact that without Blaster Blade, Gancelot is really just a 13k vanilla, so that's why I decided to just run him at 3. And then I'm also running 2 copies of Alfred Early, and my reason for running Alfred Early is because, well, the main grade 3 that I really find myself riding into most of the time is Gancelot. So, since I have Gancelot on my central Vanguard circle, on my next turn, if I have a Blaster Blade in my front row, what I could do is actually just ride Alfred Early on top of one of the Blaster Blades. And what's really cool is that although that Vanguard circle that Gancelot created ends up becoming a rearguard circle, once Blaster Blade goes into the soul, Alfred Early's when placed ability will still go off. And then I'm running 2 copies of Monarch Sanctuary Alfred, and well, I'm running Monarch Sanctuary just for the same reason that I'm running Alfred Early, because I can also ride Monarch on top of one of the Blaster Blades as well, and his when placed ability also goes off. And then to end off my deck profile, I'm just running 1 copy of Exculpate the Blaster, and he's a good card to use if you really need to devastate your opponent's playing field. A good card to use against Excel clans such as Aquaforce, or maybe even Narukami if you need to, or just clans that could really pose a threat to Royal Paladins. And then for my imaginary gifts, I use 4 Force 1s, as well as 4 Force 2s. And my reason for using 4 Force 2s is just in case I'm ever in a situation where I need to ride into a grade 3 for a 4th time during a match, I have a 4th Force 2 there that I can actually use. Now, that's it for my deck profile. If you guys enjoyed this video, please feel free to hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe for more content. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. You can find those links in the description below. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. So until then, goodbye.